Around the 5th century, after conquering the Gandhara and Punjab regions, the Alchon Huns began their invasion of India. The mighty Gupta Empire faded away, and its armies were no longer a formidable force to resist the invading enemies. Toramana was the king who led the Huns to the heartland of India, and their invasion was brutal, destroying cities and massacring people, devastating the country. The invaders faced little resistance except in Erna. After conquering Erna, or Malwa, Toramana moved his army to Gujarat. Upon conquering much of central India, Toramana turned his gaze upon the Guptas. With the Guptas having lost their power and retreated to Magadha, they were in no position to resist the Huns. Toramana captured the city of Kosambi, which he sacked. Once an important city of the Guptas, it now lay in flames. Toramana's forces also took Kasi, another conquest for the Huns. Following this, Toramana did not advance further, perhaps reaching a deal with the Gupta ruler. However, hatred against the Huns soon rose among the local chieftains and princes, who began to rebel against Toramana's rule. While most of these rebellions were crushed, Prakashadharma, the chieftain of Malwa, ultimately defeated Toramana in battle. After the battle, sources indicate that Toramana died at Kasi, and the Hunnic influence in central India vanished. Prakashadharma and other local rulers reclaimed the regions from the Huns, completing the disintegration of the Gupta Empire. After the defeat and death of Toramana, the Huns lost the lands they had conquered, but they remained powerful in the Gandhara region. Now Toramana's son, Miherkula, led the Huns in another invasion to capture the lands his father had once conquered. Miherkula was a cruel leader who only bowed to Shiva. As he marched, the sources describe him as a man of violent acts, resembling death itself. He ruled over lands overrun by hordes of Malekas, and his approach was marked by vultures, crows, and other birds, flying ahead to feed on those slain by his army. However, Yasodharman, the king of Malwa and son of Prakashadharma, joined forces with the Guptas and other kings to defeat Miherkula at the Battle of Sondani. The inscription on the victory pillar described King Miherkula, whose forehead was pained from being bent low by the strength of his arm in obeisance. After Miherkula's defeat at the hands of the Indian kings, the Huns were no longer powerful enough to launch another invasion into India. Eventually, the Alchon Huns faded into history,